Hi, and welcome to another What's On at Northern Beaches Counselling and Mediation. The topic of the last couple of months, and on everybody's lips, seems to be about the vote to allow same-sex marriage. I'll add my thoughts on this topic in a moment, but first you might be interested in having a look at one of our articles for this month titled Chronology of the Major Events in Australian History regarding the topic of marriage. Same-sex marriage is now legal either nationally or in some parts of the country in Argentina, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, Colombia, Denmark, Finland, France, Greenland, Iceland, Ireland, Luxembourg, Mexico, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, South Africa, Spain, Sweden, the UK, the US, and Uruguay. My thoughts? I simply say, live and let live. I voted for same-sex marriage to be legalised in law. I believe that marriage should be everyone's personal choice. The various churches will obviously continue to have their own rulings, and that is for them to decide. But just as state and church, at least the Catholic Church, vary on their rulings around marriage and divorce, each is separate from the other, and so too are their laws separate. One example is with de facto relationships. In the Catholic Church, they are not recognised, just as divorce is not recognised, but in law they are equal in every way to a legal marriage and are dealt with as such, especially with regards to children's rights. This is a good thing and seemingly has no negative impact on the Church and how it operates, nor does it have any influence on our education system. It is simply considered a right that people have to choose how they live their lives. And in that regard, I am a classic example. I married over 40 years ago in the Catholic Church. My husband, who was not a Catholic, did what was asked of him regarding allowing his children to be raised as Catholics. Then, 15 years later, we separated, and shortly after that my husband applied for a divorce as he wanted to remarry, and by federal law, it was granted. I looked into having my marriage annulled, that is, declared invalid, by the Church, so that one day I might also be able to remarry. The Church said that it would do this on the grounds that I was not old enough, and therefore not sensible enough, at the time of my marriage, at age 20, to make such a decision for my life. The flow-on, of course, would be that my children from that marriage would then be declared illegitimate. I was not willing to do that, so did not proceed. I've now been in my current relationship for nearly 30 years. We are not married in the Church, but are de facto in law, with all the rights it entails, as would any marriage. So far as I'm concerned, I'm as married as I could be, even in wearing his ring. We call each other husband and wife, and that is how we feel about each other. It might have been nice to have officiated that in the Church, but that is not to be. My belief is that same-sex couples, just as I do in my de facto relationship, should have the same rights in law as any couple. That is, in finance, in health, and in childcare, where decisions may need to be made by the couple which currently is not available to them. It is the decision of every adult person in this country, and for you, to follow your heart for what's the best. I believe that Australia will make a good decision. Add your thoughts to the article. I would love to hear them. But for now, pour yourself a cuppa, put your feet up, and enjoy catching up with what's happening at our place. Regards, Lidy.